But speaking of satisfaction, let's go to Giles Beckford, our business editor. And the waiting, Giles, is over for shareholders in the computer software company Wynyard Group. It seems a case of reading the last rites, does it?
It does indeed, John. For those who don't know, Wynyard Group is a computer software company. It developed programs for use by police forces, security agencies, even our own Reserve Bank was involved there. So they're involved in risk assessment and the gathering and collation of the data. It was launched mid-2013, high profile. People such as Sam Morgan were among the original investors. And the issue with all these sorts of computer companies is essentially that they burn cash in developing their software, in chasing sales, in trying to expand into markets. And that can take quite some time, as Xero, for instance, is a very good example of how long it can take. The constant refrain from all these companies, of course, is that we need more money. And there's a certain pattern that sort of keeps repeating itself, which is that they return to the share market, they tap their own shareholders for more money, they tap institutional investors for money. They're selling shares usually at a quite often discounted rate. You can hear the rattling of the corporate mug as they're trying to fund their expansion. And of course, the issue is, can you keep your promise and your sales ahead of the cash that you're burning? And that seems to be the failure of this company. They had too few sales, too little revenue, too much debt, and in the end the banks weren't willing to support it, and that the conditions of the one last financier that would have supported it were too onerous. The directors have pulled the plug. There's one group of disaffected shareholders who want to take a class action against the directors of the company for allegedly misleading investors when the company was floated in 2013, somewhat wildly extravagant claims about future earnings growth. We'll wait and see if that eventuates. In the meantime, it's in the hands of the administrators now. This is not receivership, it's administrators, so it's been ring-fenced. It has a chance possibly of surviving. I suspect that it will be bought by somebody else. The only value in the company would seem to be the intellectual property of the software. And for all intents and purposes, you'd have to say that the company is dead, just not quite buried.
So, Giles, very quickly, the shareholders, this potential class action is on the basis of inflated earnings forecasts, people buying in good faith something they weren't getting. Is that what they're claiming?
Yes, generally they're suggesting that the claims that were made for contracts that had already been locked down for future revenue growth actually weren't substantiated and that they weren't there. And indeed, some of the original shareholders include some of the fund managers. Brian Gaynor's Milford Asset Management, for instance, will be one of the casualties of this company collapse.
Gosh, that'll be fascinating to see what happens with that class action. What happened on the markets more generally, Giles?
Well, the share market had its best session in a couple of weeks. It was up where are we, top 50, 44 points, that's about 0.6%, 7,003. And the New Zealand dollar just holding at around 71.4 US cents and 93.8 Australian.
Have we got a bird of the year yet, Giles? Have we got one
We
yet?
haven't got a bird of the year. Look, thank you for offering me the opportunity.
30 seconds or less, or Pip
that's
will
right.
kill me.
RNZ Business is promoting and championing the P Waka Waka, the fantail. Go to the Forest and Bird website and cast your vote there. All contributions, of course, gratefully received.
P Waka Waka. Thanks, Giles, our business editor, live from Wellington.